welcome back. Episode 12 of Lanzarote and Canary Islands gameplay. I still really love that intro. There was meant to be an outro at the end of last episode as well. However, I think I must have forgot to upload it into the right place or something. But hopefully it should be on this episode. If we switch over to the gameplay, last episode we were Last episode we were, I think, 16th during last episode. This episode we are 14th. However, we've been in an absolutely dreadful run of form. So if we go over to the form schedule, we've been beaten by Granada. So Granada, Tenerife, Malaga, Real Oviedo, and Alaves. Last 5 league games, lost them all. One of them was to Malaga, who are top. Tenerife are below us. Granada, Real Oviedo, and Alaves. Granada up there. Real Oviedo next to us, and Alaves sort of upper mid-table. This leaves us 10 points off the playoffs. And to be honest, if we go over and look at the XG table, we are expected goals against. We conceded 32.8 XG. Actual goals against, we've conceded 41. So realistically, we are a lot worse defensively than we should be, which is positive considering that's the defense has been probably the part I've been most worried about from the end of from this year so far. However, if that's that we are underperforming compared to our XG, then maybe we can make up for it at the end of the season, into the start of next season, somewhere around there. Let's take a quick look at how our players have been doing. Top goal scorer this year is Javi Moreno. Juan Alberto Fidalgo is up there as well. He scored quite a few recently, but he's really hit miss. 6 in 18 or 6 in 19, I guess. Tello Asgard has 6 in 22. Josep Campos must have just come back on loan with those stats. Nico Pats has been very good. Basically, we've been sort of struggling all over except maybe midfield. We've been playing this sort of tactic. So Pats and Moreno are definitely the two sort of pretty much all the time the two best players that we've got. Manuel Santamaria is coming along. I'm playing him as Segundo Volante occasionally, or a sort of I think the other tactic I have is a centre midfielder attack. Yeah. Jimmy or Michael Madu tend to play this ball-winning midfielder role. David and Borg, Bashatic playing in the centre here. Javi Lopez or David playing out wide. De Luis has started pretty much every game this year. He's played 23 games. I think Ted Kurd's played a few. 3 games. I'd like to get him a little bit more involved because he looks like he has the potential to be better than Mario De Luis for me. But I'm not going to force De Luis out if he's been the best player. That's. Let's look at our transfers. Transfers in, we tried to loan Jacobo Ray, but it's cancelled due to them wanting too much. Oops. Goes to transfer history. We didn't bring anyone in January. We had a couple of outs. Charlie Perez went out on a free to Mallorca. He was the goalkeeper I signed last year. Just wasn't good enough. The third choice goalkeeper, he was on sort of pretty much that wage, really. No need for him to be here. And then Rosendo went for 70k to Albacete. Again, just get some wage budget back. Play defensively solid football, very disappointed, but overall, we're doing quite well. I think we really need to shore up the defence. That's the be all and end all of it. I think it might result in dropping Tello Asgard, bringing another centre back in, just going 5 at the back, and telling the opposition score passes if you want, but we'll grind out a 0-0. Just a couple of tweaks to this system, I think. Get it defensively more solid. We're playing a high defensive line. I tend to drop that back about 20 minutes into the game. I'm not sure what else I have to mention, really. I don't think we've played any Canary Island games in the meantime. Schedule. Yes, we will have played both of these. UEFA Nations League Group B. We had the chance to go up. We would have gone up if we'd won both of these games. We ended up getting beat 7-2 by the Netherlands and then 4-1 by Turkey. To be honest, this is going to be quite a quick update, as there isn't really a lot to bring. Odds are we're close to relegation than we are to the playoffs. I still think that the aim has to be this sort of 8th to 10th range. 10th were 6 points off. We can make that up quite easily. We just really need to turn this form around. And I think after we turn the form around, we have a real chance of pushing on next year when, you look at the squad age here. Deluise is 24, Ndai is 19, Borg is 18, David's 20, Javier Lopez is in on loan, Santa Maria I think is 20, Moreno and Paz are like 23, 24, 22 and 22, Tello Asgard's 24, and then basically whatever striker we play up front is 19. So I'm quite happy that we could go up in 2 or 3 years if we didn't make any signings and just sort of stuck with the players that we have now and develop them a bit more. I don't really have any players I'm targeting at the minute in scouting. We're just sort of stuck here for a little while until these players come of the age that I can either sell them for quite a lot of money, sort of relative to the amount of money that we have generally as a club. Stefan Bajcetic, we probably get about $1 million for him now. Nico Pat is really too good to sell. Bajcetic might go at the end of this season. He's good. He's good, especially in 3 different positions that we're really looking to shore up. But $1.5 million for us is 4 players, probably maybe 5, in order to push up. I think the only thing I've not really looked at, as we are a bit tight with wages, wage budget 40k. Wage budget 69,000. Currently spending 64,000. So we do have a little bit of wage budget spare. And I think we'll use that on signing a couple of free agents to come in at the end of the season. Outside of that, unless we get a good transfer budget, I think our finances are still projected to be fairly good. Yeah, we're really financially solid now. As I say, I think everything's heading in the right direction. It's just taking a little while. But we'll get some frees in at the end of this season. And then hopefully use those to push on. Maybe use one of those to replace Bajcetic if I sell him. Borg and David have attracted interest over January, but they are not going anywhere. If Ted Kerr doesn't start playing first team football, he might be on the chopping block as well. Ndai and David are definitely staying. Santa Maria is definitely staying. Borg's definitely staying. He had interest from Norwich at one point. Lander, there's potential that he goes at the end of the season. We're in January now, pretty much right. Well, I think the transfer window's ended. Transfer window closed yesterday. So you can see that we didn't really make any moves, and there's not really a lot of moves for us to make. So that's it for this episode. I will come back at the end of the season unless we somehow manage to scrape playoffs. If we manage to scrape playoffs, I'll come down and we'll play the. I'll come back and we'll play the playoffs on screen. But for now, stick with it. I think this season we're just going to play it out, stay up, stay in the division. Next season, I think if we make some really good signings, even just a couple of decent signings with the players that we've got now getting a bit older, I don't think that 5th to 8th would be an issue for us next year, especially with the positive regression we've got from the goals conceded. So I think this 5th to 8th range is exactly what we're aiming for next season. Hopefully getting the playoffs, and then maybe the season after we sort of, if we don't go up, push on to this 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th group. So the 2nd division might take a year longer than I expected. I expected about 3 years. I think there's a chance it takes 3, there's a chance it takes 4. But hopefully we'll get out of here fairly soon. So thank you for joining me. I will be back at the end of the season, as I said. I might upload a short episode at the end of the season just to recap what will be probably a mid-table finish. And then a main episode at the end of the transfer window, sort of 5 or 6 games into the 2027-28 season. So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.